I'm here, Mario's here, Armand's here, Kathy's here, Pat's here, Robin's on Zoom, should be, Donna's here, Doug's here, Mike Wilson was here, Ellen is here, Kemp is on a Zoom, Dave's here, Mike Z's on a Zoom, John Jenny is here, and Joe.
Let me try it. Just give it a shot.
I'm not gonna give
Can I
it
do
a
it?
Kalesha.
shot. Thank you.
So close.
And John Jenny, so, okay. Approval of the agenda. Have a motion, Pat, second, Ellen. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next, approval of the minutes.
Hi, Dino.
Dean is late, so he has to provide the drinks. Here, Dean.
I'll come down, Ed.
Thanks.
Oh, geez. I know. Good, how you doing?
Got a motion to approve.
Moved.
Kathy, second Armand. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye, opposed? Public, anybody in public? Okay. Who's gonna go for the team?
Mr. Zerio calling in from
Yeah.
beautiful New Jersey.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening. Sorry for not being there in person today. Like Dave said, I've been away on vacation since late last week, but there's a few updates I'd like to present tonight regarding some various topics related to the athletic field construction progress, landscaping, HVAC system, building commissioning, in the high school gym floor. Just starting off with landscaping, since the last committee meeting, the landscaper had been back to the site trying to bring, various lawn and planting areas into conformance based on the contract documents. And, we had a review meeting of the work that's been put into place with SLAM's landscape architect. And, overall, I think the general consensus was there was, improvement, but really nothing firm enough to allow for, any acceptance of the lawn or planting areas. At this point, and in the background, we've been working with SLAM on, issuing, a non-conformance notice to the site work contractor and landscaper regarding the lawn and plantings to put them on, formal notice and, really start that clock. We've given countless opportunities to the landscaper and, they really have not followed through with, a lot of the promises that have been made during on-site landscaping check-in review meetings. And, ultimately, they're going to have an opportunity here to tell us what their final plan is to finish the project. And, we're going to have to evaluate that and continue to monitor the progress. And, if the status quo remains, we're going to have to find somebody that is willing to complete it on their behalf and expense. Moving to the HVAC and, building commissioning, earlier this month in June, we held a, regroup meeting with a lot of the major players involved related to the HVAC system and commissioning. Within that meeting, there were some follow-ups mostly needed from the HVAC contractor and, when working with their various subcontractors like their BMS controls sub, the balancer, manufacturers of, the pumps and, chillers. The main objective for that meeting was to really focus on, the major house systems, and that being the chilled water system and the hot water system, discussion of, issues related to the chillers and some various alarms that were going on, and really maintenance of the equipment itself, given that nothing's been really accepted and turned over.
Mike?
Yep.
There was a follow-up meeting today.
Yep.
Jenny.
Mario
Got
said,
Jenny. Oh, you were on, right?
yeah, I was listening.
Oh, man, it was ugly. It was very ugly.
Yeah, we did have a follow-up meeting, like Mario said this morning, and, I think we've narrowed down some final items to chase down from, MJ Daly. And there's also a couple items from, CES's standpoint, the MEP engineer, one of SLAM's consultants on, some questions related to design on the chilled water system side.
Not prepared,
No, not at all.
not at all. I listed the 5 items that had to be dealt with. He could not answer most of them or didn't have an answer. We set up one more meeting. This meeting will be held in person. Everybody has to be there. Everybody knows their assignment. We should have all of the things completed and given to us in 4 weeks. Or else he's still holding almost $2 million with MJ Daly. It was painful. It was painful.
Yeah, he was, yeah, I can't believe that's what they send to these
Yeah,
meetings.
it was painful. So
Bad.
they all know the head honcho was online, and we'll see what happens in 4 weeks. But they all know that it's in person. They gotta be there. They gotta face us face to face with all the reports. Okay, Mike, sorry.
No, you're good. You summed it up pretty well. We'll check back in with them in 4 weeks. We got a lot of work to do between now and then, but we'll continue to check in on MJ Daly and, make sure they're on the right path for their meeting next month.
Somebody there, they have to call Dean, so one of Dean's guys can go with them. Yeah, continue.
You got anything you want to add?
No, I don't think there's anything right now. The meeting was very revealing today, so we really have to make sure that all parties are involved. Every single correspondence at this point, we have to make sure that the list is there. I know Mike, Robert, he stepped into the picture probably, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago. And he is very good at following up. He's very good at crafting some emails and staying on these guys.
Mhm.
Was he there today? I couldn't see the screen.
Yeah, he was there today.
This is Robert from ONG.
Okay, all right, he didn't say much. I do think that he must be our lead person, where all correspondence start and stop with him, because we have so many different entities going on with this mechanical system here, that, if we can get him to take a look at today's meeting, the last meeting, and then maybe hook up with Mario and I or somebody to make sure everybody that needs to be talking or needs this information is on there, because I still think, were we missing anybody today? I don't know. I don't have a running list, but that has been a big problem. And I think with
There's a bunch of emails you weren't even copied on.
yeah, so, and then there was some stuff that you weren't. I've been texting, so we're going texting, we're going email.
Right.
We're doing a lot of different ways of communicating, and sometimes more is not more. So
Okay.
maybe we should stop the texting probably and get on a full email list.
And just like an Excel type of file where it's like an
Well,
item.
even just communication, so, we had problems with the thermostats, so, ABS came out, he changed 2 transformers that were in the ceiling, right? So some of the guys didn't know about that today, it just happened yesterday. So anything that happens mechanically now with this whole HVAC system, everybody should be linked in,
Yeah.
whether they get overloaded over email, too bad. At this point, we need, because there's too many questions, right? Oh, I didn't know that, I didn't see that, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, all the entities are, instead of working together, are all kind of butting heads,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He's supposed to do this, he was supposed to do that, and it's not flowing well at all.
no, I think that will be key, and again, I think if Robert, because he's,
He's a nudge.
yeah, he knows his stuff, so to
Yeah.
get him involved is gonna be helpful also.
Okay.
Or not just involved,
To be that you wanted to be a more centralized point to make sure that he's the intermediary of.
he's the man,
Okay.
he's the man. Yep.
Okay, Mike,
Mike, can I back it up a little bit,
Yeah.
back to the landscaping?
Yep.
So, you mentioned that you're talking with them to figure out what's going on. My question to you is, do we have a deadline do we have a time when we know that they're going to be, and I don't mean, all I'm talking about is maintenance right now. All I'm talking about is the grass being cut, the weeds being pulled, the project, the property looks terrible. It looks terrible. We have a, you know, a beautiful building, a beautiful layout, and it's really taking away from it, and people are talking, and when they should be, and they should be also. So my question to you is, you know, we talked about every other week, then we talked about every week. I had to make phone calls last week to get them there. They came, you know, 5 o'clock at night, then they came the following day when school was in. They were able to get it done, but, you know, how are we moving forward from today?
We're moving forward by formalizing the fact that it is rejected. And that they have a period of time to correct it, or we have the ability within the contract to take other means to do it.
Okay, how do we make sure that the property looks presentable from right now? How do I make sure that today and tomorrow?
That's gonna be babysitting us in the meantime, to make sure he's out there maintaining it.
So we can't
And coming
take
out
over
there.
the maintenance of it right this minute.
Not right this minute. No.
Well, okay, when's the minute is gonna be, what minute's gonna be right? Is it gonna be, we're gonna give it till Monday?
No, I mean, we've been working with SLAM to generate the document that by contract provides the notice to us that it's not accepted. We provide it to them and we give them the I forgot what the time is in the contract, they have to respond to it.
No, I get it. Dave, but you're talking about a large, many items. I'm talking about very simple.
Right, you're talking
maintenance.
about just mowing and trimming.
That's
and
what
all
I'm talking about,
this,
that's all I'm talking
right,
about. I want the grass cut, I want it trimmed, I want it edged as best as I could, because they're not done edging. So my point is.
Right, but even that, right, that's part of the, right, and that's what we're gonna get from them when we put them on formal notice, that it's not like it's not accepted, it's rejected.
I get it.
If I could interrupt, what Dave is looking to do with them may take longer than you want to get the
Yes,
grass cut.
yes.
Can it be done in parallel, the
Yes.
drafting of the letters, and the issuance of the letter, and then getting them to come out to
Yeah.
cut the grass and edge
Yes.
it?
They're supposed to be there every week. Now,
Yes.
everybody's grass is slowed down.
It has, but again,
Right.
I'm still wondering about the weeds. I mean, should they be trimming them? Should we let it grow? I mean, it's
Right,
just,
yeah, something more drastic than just trimming is gonna have to be done.
Yeah.
We all agree that what's there, just maintaining is what's there is not gonna get it done.
Okay.
It has to be fixed. And despite our best efforts to get CJ Fucci and their trade TC to talk to us and get commitments from the owner of that company to us, I mean, he spoke to all of us that day and has just proved to not be an individual who is following
Okay.
through on his word. So at this point, it's closer up.
looking forward to the end date.
Well, we should have that very soon. Kemp is working on it.
Yeah, I'll have that issued by tomorrow, early afternoon.
Kemp, did you see my one comment today?
I did, yep. So I need to make a couple of adjustments and then we'll get it out tomorrow.
Let me ask you a question about that, whatever it is, that document. Are we gonna be able to, Dean and I, and whoever else wants to, take that document in our hand and walk around before you send it off to this guy? Because-
There's, put it this way, I think this thing about the walk we can do, but it's really pretty much, right, Kemp, it's kind of a carte blanche.
I don't,
Nothing is accepted.
yeah,
So-
I don't want them to think that we gotta fix what's on the document. They gotta fix everything.
Well, and that's what the document shows, it's
Yeah,
everything.
the document basically says no lawns are accepted in the entire Phase 2A area. And then I have an annotated aerial. The aerial was taken April 10th this year, so it's current. And I have that superimposed with clips of the construction documents pointing out areas that are like bed areas and planting bed areas that are not accepted.
Okay, can you, Phase 2A, define that for me?
It's
because-
the whole.
Phase 1 is not accepted either.
No.
Whatever phase one is.
No, remember, phase one, by our contract, was the ground improvement work that we started the project. Phase 2A was
That's
the
everything.
construction of the height, everything leading up, everything. through
Every bit of grass and
the
every planting is
2024,
covered in this.
early 2025. The only plantings not included in that is the portion of the site that we have developed since taking over the existing high school property last year. That's phase 2B. Because
Yeah, and that we're likely to do another non-conformance notice for phase 2B. It was just gonna take too long. We wanted to get it out quicker.
Right, and some of that work is intertwined with the field work that's dragging out, so we didn't want there to be any opportunity
So-
for him to say, wait a minute, so we.
Yeah.
you
So
know,
the
we
long and
made
the
it
short of
clear.
it is nothing is approved.
Nothing is approved, nothing,
Nothing that was open with the high school,
No.
nothing that was open with the middle school, nothing.
no.
Correct.
So I did see somebody walking around doing plugs last week, pulling samples. Did we have any response?
So this is where we have been trying to get, we understood that the arborist came out.
Yeah.
But we have not seen a report, and then we weren't sure if what's his face, someone from the seed company.
Some guy was there with
Okay.
doing the grass. He did the courtyard,
Of course.
saw him in the courtyard, best grass we have.
We're awaiting confirmation of what the results of that. were.
Okay.
Can we independently and charge them, of course, bring our own people in to get their opinion of what should be done?
Oh, I'm sure you could get people in to offer opinions. I wouldn't go and spend a whole bunch of money on it just yet because we're. You know what I mean? I'm sure some other landscaper would probably be more than happy to come out and look at it and give you his opinion.
So are you talking about opinions or are you talking about samples?
That including that, right? Is there Joe Blow landscaping company out there that we could bring in and we'll take some plugs, look at the work, which is easy.
Yeah, but
enough.
shouldn't that, I mean, we have a landscaping architect on the shop, right?
Yes.
And we have specifications that these people are supposed to meet. I mean,
Yeah,
what,
well,
so this guy comes up and he plugs our lawn. Is this somebody independent or is this?
Dean, that's
Okay.
been part of the breakdown.
But I think as
The landscaper was asked to bring in a soil scientist to test the soil, and that's probably what.
And who's paying?
Taking the
Well,
contract.
Well, they
that's
are.
all through,
Alright.
they
that's all
are.
through. our
But I'm asking, can we bring in our own people?
Well, that's
Because
what I
this guy's taking a sample from the courtyard where there's actually some grass, right? And he's maybe not taking a sample
Yeah,
from
maybe-
everywhere
maybe
else
he
where
did.
there's nothing.
Where the parking lot is and stuff
Right.
like that, where
Right.
it's
Where there's
like the
nothing.
tundra.
Right.
I would just feel more comfortable if we were going to do any testing that it doesn't come from the people who are installing it. It comes from us.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying.
It comes from us, just at least the testing. As far as the physical, hey, that should be this way and that should be that way. We have all these professionals that we pay to do that we could assume
Yeah,
that.
no.
But this
That's kind
testing
of what I'm
part,
saying.
okay.
I guess let me double back with Kemp on that to just see what, if Henry had his druthers, what kind of sampling or testing would he want to see independent, and let me talk about.
I mean, to me, there's plants that could be saved and all the grass should be ripped up. Freaking I think.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when we had the meeting out there, I think we were moving towards a path of establishing a benchmark by which the landscaped areas could be accepted. They weren't ready that day, but we had a good conversation and some good samplings.
Yeah, they
and it-
made progress in some beds.
And they didn't. They were supposed to be done by June one.
Right, but then again,
Tenth.
like
They
Phil,
disappeared.
what Phil said
They're
and
gone.
what his actions backed after that were just two completely different
Yeah,
things, yeah, so.
He gave us a week.
Listen, I'm sure, I'm sorry, Ed.
No.
Dean goes, we cannot go anywhere in this town.
Yeah.
I went to a freaking picnic at my brother's house and I got it. My relatives are ganging up on me, for God's sakes. They don't like me to start with, but, I mean,
Yeah. No,
it's
yeah.
terrible. Everywhere he goes, everywhere I go, everywhere he goes, what's going on with the high school? Oh, yeah, well.
It looks great, the building inside, but the outside sucks. So-
It's not a good showing, I understand.
So
Ed, how much money are we holding back from them?
Well, it's Fucci.
it's
Yeah,
Fucci,
we got it.
so
We got it.
it's over $1 million.
Is the grass unsavable? Because you said you prefer to have it just ripped up.
Well, I mean, I
There
say
is a-
figurative, there's,
There isn't
I mean,
much of
it's,
it.
I guess my point is, doing isolated prunings or weedings is not, that's not what's gonna get us there. I mean, they need to do some wholesale work on the property to get it to be acceptable. And they've gotta, and mainly, they've got to establish a solid watering plan.
Yeah.
So,
And
Yeah. And the specs are clear. I mean, the thing is, they've let it go too long, and it's gotta be a wholesale redo, in my opinion.
Well, send us the stuff and,
Yeah.
we'll start from there.
Yeah,
And they-
we're
But we
ready
know
on our,
that
end.
this was
we're
the-
we're gonna turn our NCN around to Fuji within 24 hours of getting it from Slam, so we're ready.
As everybody knows, and I'm not a grass guy, this was the best growing season ever.
Well, they missed every growing season.
Yeah.
Everyone for the past 2 years, they missed.
This is-
Everyone.
This was the best growing.
They did have a great growing
Yeah,
season.
it wasn't too hot. We had
No,
rain.
it rained,
Yeah,
the sun
it
came
wasn't
out.
hot.
And as we've spoken, all of us, I've said it to a bunch of you guys, I've seen that stuff get sprayed onto telephone poles and grow grass. But they can't get it to grow on the ground, so.
Yeah.
I mean, not even a blade of grass has come up on that
On the
bank.
side of the bank.
It's
Oh,
unbelievable.
yeah, I saw that.
It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
that's crazy.
Not even a blade.
Okay,
By
Mike,
accident.
finish up.
All right, last couple topics here. One related to the high school gym floor. I think last meeting I had mentioned we had performed some deflection testing on the high school gym floor after some concerns were raised about, inconsistencies with, the feel of the floor itself. Testing, like I just said, has been completed, and we're working with the wood flooring contractor to remediate one area specifically that had a low failed result, and then addressing that would bring the overall testing results back into conformance with the manufacturer's requirements. Again, it's still unfolding. We have a proposed fix from the manufacturer, but there were some follow-up questions from the district a few days ago. There were some examples where that fix had been implemented prior, so they could put their eyes on it and see what's going on. Still waiting to hear back from the installing contractor regarding that, but we do have, supporting information directly from, Connor Sports, the floor manufacturer, that this is a valid option and, it doesn't hurt or void the project's floor warranty. Last here is just speaking to the athletic fields. I think during last meeting here, we were just finishing up the anchor curbing in the softball field. We were awaiting the fabric and the drainage and all the stone prior to the synthetic turf. And I'm sure if you guys have visited recently, all the work beneath the turf and even the turf itself has been completed since then. So we're continuing to work our way outside of the athletic field limits back to Daily Drive. And predominantly the fencing contractor has the ball in court at the moment to finish all the perimeter fencing around those fields, along with the dugouts on both the baseball and softball fields. So once those activities are completed, we're going to shift our efforts to the site improvements that need to be completed after the field work is done. Aside from all the lawn and plantings that remain in that area, the focus for us now is shaping up the rest of Daily Drive outside of the construction field entrance, continuing with the precast curbing and preparations for the final asphalt paving towards the end of next month.
Mikey,
Any questions related to the fields or anything?
yes, Mario here. There's some disagreement about who owns the fencing on the front of the dugouts, is that correct?
I think it's more of I guess a detailed question that we've been working with Slam on. It's pretty clear to me somebody owns the fence there. It's just working on that to really figure it out. I mean, the dugout enclosure, obviously needs fencing around 3 sides of it, and from what we can tell from the drawings is that the fence is running along the anchor curb in front of the dugout enclosure, but I think that's really the bust that we're hearing and seeing right now.
Who's responsible for putting it up?
My opinion is it's Eagle Fencing.
So it sounds like there is some disagreement about who owns it.
Who else would it be, Mario, if it wasn't
The
Eagle?
dugout guys, which is
Oh.
Liberty.
Yeah. I'm not worried about that. It's within our change, right?
Mike, don't forget Nets, I think it's Net Services, gonna do underground so we can get the gates going.
Yeah, we got to set another 1, maybe 2 quasi boxes. We have all the wire for the site cameras, and that shares the raceway with the gate communication over there. So I'm hoping within the next month we'll be able to bring that back online.
those gates were put in by Eagle also, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, in phase one, yep.
Phase one. Okay, they're gonna need to be looked at. They've been dismantled and shut down for however long. We've lost services to them as far as communication. So we gotta get, huh?
Yeah, that's why Net Services is putting that stuff through.
Yeah, but once it's all in,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
they're gonna go through the thing to make sure we're up. Okay, it's still part of
yes.
their thing to do.
Mhm.
All right, all right. I do have a question about the court, if you,
Go ahead.
so Mike, we're not going forward until we all agree or we have all of the different options. Which one, it only sounds like there's one right now, but, right, is that, am I right by saying that?
We're not.
Yeah, we're not proceeding with anything until you guys are all comfortable with what we've proposed, and, you know, right now it stands, we gotta figure out another job where this fix has been implemented before, so you guys can lay your eyes on it.
And what if we don't have another place where this has happened before? And they put this stuff in?
And it's hard.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
listen, we're trying to avoid variations now. And the word is, if we put this in there, it may stiffen it up. Now you got another variation. So are we achieving the goal of non-variant or taking away one spot because the floor has the variations? And that's my concern. We're gonna go and put this stuff in there, and now you're gonna hit this one spot that's gonna be completely different with no flex in it as opposed to the other spots. So,
Yeah, I feel pretty strongly there's gotta be, I've read up on it, so there's gotta be repair somewhere.
Right,
that's been
because I
done.
think, right, because I think that the idea is to, I think what the rep had said is that to try to just pull things out, you're gonna adversely affect far more of the floor than, you may open yourself to a whole bunch of other issues if you try to pull.
well, I think it's putting the floor back together. The tongue and groove is the problem.
Yeah.
Not as far as expanding the problem of the, you know,
Well, but you're jostling things around quite a bit
Yeah.
with the other,
Yeah.
by that invasive means of taking things out,
Mhm.
so. And you, remember, we have a system that's not, you know, there's adhesion, right? It's not all this fully drilled system we gotta be careful not to
There's gotta be somewhere where. it's done.
release other
Yeah.
stuff, so, I mean, this is this is not just the installer, right? This is the sports floor manufacturer who is providing these write-ups, so like there's.
Yep.
But to your first point, we're gonna vet this to the point that you feel comfortable before we go and do it.
As the floor currently is, do we have dead spots in some places, or in other places it feels like it's on springs, or is
Yeah,
it-
along one key that when you get to it, it bounces.
so there's dead spots are not a problem. It just feels like it's in springs in some places.
There's a range of
On-
dead spots. There's,
Yeah.
there's a range that it's allowed to vary when you do a drop test.
Right.
There's one area in particular that is significantly more flexible, bounces more than anywhere else. It's, I don't know, the size of this table maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other spots, if there are fairly small, but this is a sizable area in a very,
Yeah, right.
open area. It's out in the middle of the paint.
Except for that one segment, the kids were basically comfortable on it, playing, dribbling, running.
no, but my question is this,
It's in a real
is
bad
this
spot.
one,
Okay.
is this, we're talking about repairing that one spot only?
It's the only spot, I believe, that's outside of the requirements, outside of the parameters.
If that spot falls, if you go by the industry standards, the specifications for the
Yeah,
tolerances,
that whole,
that if their area is raised up to get, I think it's above 94%.
Yeah.
Then the composite samples across the floor are within the standard spec range. It may push it even higher and up to 99 or whatever, but there's gotta be a way to modulate how much foam they put in there to not make it too rigid.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I'm more concerned with the court in its entirety. I know that one spot is bang, but you know, that instance has happened in other spots that aren't so big.
Right.
They're a little bit smaller. Does that mean it's not, we're gonna accept that?
It's,
If the rest of it's all within industry standards for the floor.
As a percentage?
yes.
Yeah.
It's hard to, if they meet the standard for that bounce test throughout the testing parameters, there will be variances.
I'm gonna say this, that if we do this, right, that we should get another independent bounce test, not from the guy who installed it. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. I'm not saying anything wrong. I was there with him. It was a very, ball dropped from a certain height, and he had his phone down there that had an app on there, and he timed it between the first bounce and second bounce. That's the math behind it. And if there's a different in between there, then that's what they calculate. It's great in theory. But you dribble ball up and down that court, and all of a sudden there was 3 or 4 dead spots as you're coming up the court. It's just, to me, I just think we have to maybe just do a little bit more than what is the minimum required.
Did any of the teams complain? Have you heard anything? If you're allowed to say, did the volleyball team complain or the basketball?
It'd be more the basketball team.
Basketball team.
They both coaches have mentioned it
About
with some
the
intensity.
ball
Yeah.
doesn't bounce in some places?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, the spot that's really bad.
Right.
Is in it's by one of the top of the key there, basketball key. So it's in a very
Pronounced
critical
spot.
spot when you're playing basketball game. It's
And
on
then-
the main court.
In 5 years, the dead spots would likely get worse or stay the same once it's installed? Maybe, but no guarantees.
Not likely to get better.
Yeah.
And what's that? Yeah, that if it, that summed it up.
But to Dean's point, if there's so many other spots, they might add up to be more than industry standard.
Yeah,
But that's right.
Is this a progressing problem? Is this something that was getting worse over time, or was this something that was observed in a short period of time, a couple of week period?
I'm not quite sure if we knew it at the get-go. I'm not quite sure if right when we turned it over, when we were in the practice in the beginning, I think we did.
Yeah.
As soon as we spent some serious time on the court, it's one thing walking out there, and there's another thing when you're running night after night of practice and you're on the court every day and then you see it. And I think it was probably, right after.
Okay, so it hasn't progressed.
I don't
from
think
what
so.
you can tell.
I don't think so.
Obviously, don't have a basketball team out there at this time of the season.
Yeah. So.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay. I know the past couple meetings, a lot of the discussion was about the air quality, moisture, HVAC, and that impact on the floor, unless I misunderstood some of the discussion. Is that all set?
When we talked about the
I think
HVAC.
we were talking about things like the humidity and all
Yeah.
that, and that they're unrelated. Is that what the question was? Was they're unrelated?
Yes. Yeah, I thought it was, or there was some question of it possibly be related, but
Correct. It is not.
okay.
Okay, Mike, thanks. John?
Well, my report is going to be very short today. There have been no tests or inspections since our last meeting. The field report items that we had 13 last month, we're down to 10 now. 3 have gone away. 1 is at the middle school and it's on a punch list. 9 are in the site and they're on. It's already been monitored by ONG, so they have those 9 items. Other than that, to reiterate what Mike was saying about the IES meeting we had today, we're looking at the 15 different mechanical systems. We're looking at primarily the chillers, the boilers, to make sure that they're operating well. And once those are operating well, then the rest of the system downstream should be doing better. So we met today, but outside of that, there have been no other tests or inspections since our last meeting.
And when I wrote to everybody, the phase 2 application, said I'd give it to you today. You have it. It's for $453,973.33. And it lists all of who's getting the bills and so forth. As you know, we've closed out, I don't have it in front of me, 12 contracts already before this one. So we're trying to close out the contracts. They're still open.
How many more left you close out?
I think 7.
7.
I didn't have it here, sorry.
Sure.
We closed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11
Okay, I'll
contracts.
make sure my guy gets that.
So there's probably about 7 left.
So once those are closed out, then,
You can go on
we
the,
can
you can
submit
show about
for
for it. How
a
long
holdback
would you
from
do
the
that for?
state.
Well, we're submitting all the time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So as soon as they're closed out, they go
Well,
in
we
for
do that
submission
before
to
they
get
close
our,
out.
26
Okay.
Yeah.
to get our,
I think what you're referring to is when everything is
yeah,
done.
done.
Yeah.
Then the committee accepts the project as
Project.
complete,
Right.
Board of Ed does, and then that starts the financial close on the project.
It takes 6 months to
As far as getting retainage.
retainage.
And so we gotta do that as a whole. We can't do that in parts.
And then if
Well,
there's no
we're
way to
doing
get
it
the
now.
5%.
He said it,
We're
it'll-
doing it now,
it'll
but then it
bypass
gets
it.
to, if, I think it's 96%, they won't
They
pay
can't
us.
pay you back, right, and then, right, but as far as the project will, there'll be
How
one
many, give me that, how much did you
EDO
give my guys?
1049 F that's filed for the entire project.
Okay.
So could I have a motion to approve $453,973.33?
So moved.
Pat, have a second?
I'll second.
On. Discussion, all
Thank
in
you.
favor? Aye, opposed, okay. Mike, you're on now.
All right, I'll start with PCO 769. It's an owner contingency credit of $1,970. The original contract drawings included some exterior bathrooms and a concession stand within Area H. As you know, that those components have been broken outside of the building into the future, outbuilding in the field. So credit coming back here from the drywall contractor, and then the acoustical contractor, and then an add cost from the electrician because there were some light fixtures that changed as a result of the new layout within Area H. PCO 774 is an owner contingency cost of $856. This was a request for us to locate the existing football field lighting controls into a weather-tight enclosure at the electrical panel outside the field. PCO 775, that's an owner contingency cost of $700. 711, we have, goggle cabinets mostly in the science classrooms, but realized when we got to Area H, there weren't any electrical provisions for the goggle cabinet that was supposed to be in that space. So a cost here from the electrician to run, raceway from the panel inside the auto shop, wiring, and terminations to a device to support that goggle cabinet on the wall. PCO 776 is an owner contingency cost of $2,331. Contract drawings had us run some wiring, breaker, and a device for one of the salvaged welders in the auto shop. When we compared the electrical requirements and the nameplate of the welder to the contract documents, we needed to make a change from the infrastructure that was already in place. So the work was tracked on time and material with those costs funded from the owner's contingency. PCO 782 is a CM contingency cost of $630. This is our reoccurring monthly toilet cost for the May 2026 period. My description in the PCO here as an error, it says April, but for the record, it is for the May period. PCO 783, it's allowance number 11 for a square footage of roof membrane replacement that was needed throughout the project. We exceeded the allowance, so a hit of $1,901 to the CM contingency. 784, this is a back charge between trades for a louver vent that was installed out of sequence by the roofing contractor. PCO 785, again, another trade allowance, number 16, assigned to the acoustical ceiling trade contractor for some journeyman hours. Due to field coordination, the allowance was not fully expended, so $1,465 was being returned to the project. PCO 786, allowance number 17, also assigned to the acoustical contractor for some tile replacement that was needed throughout the project. We exceeded the allowance, so a hit of $6,632 to the CM contingency. PCO 787, it's an owner cost of $1,141 for the waterproofing contractor's bond adjustment. This reconciles their cost part of closeout, but we're still holding some monies on them for approvals of closeout warranties that we are still tracking. 788, another CM cost of $630. This was for the June 2026 temporary toilets. And the last one here would be 789, another trade allowance assigned to the drywall contractor for a square footage of temporary fire rated partitions that we needed to use throughout the project because of all of the phasing. Allowance was not fully used, so $5,497 is being returned back to the project.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to approve all the PCOs?
So moved.
Armand,
Second.
second Kathy. Any discussion?
Could I ask a question, Mike?
Yeah.
776, this TIG welder,
Mhm.
labor, equipment, materials for your new wiring breaker, was that, apparently was never in the drawing, is that what it is?
We had run braceway and wiring to what we thought would support the welder. And then when we had talked to our electrician, when the welder came, he saw that there was something wrong. So we roped CES into it, and they were looking into it on their end and realized that we had to upsize some of the conductors in there and, you know, buy a new device for the welder.
But this was the existing device we knew we had, correct?
Yeah.
So they weren't aware of the needs, it seems like, right? So it was done
Yeah, I think it was just designed to support one thing and, you know, not realizing what the nameplate on the welder was saying and realized we had to make a change.
Next is the analysis.
I don't think you took a vote on that, by the way.
Yes, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, you asked for comments.
Yeah, I asked for comments, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, sorry. Next is the analysis of payment, as I do every time is a payment, you get the whole
Spiel.
Invoices. First one is for Whitestone. As you know, Whitestone, we hired instead of Welty. Welty couldn't do the job because he was so busy. And this is verifying on the field, the layout, the underground testing and inspection. So can I have a motion to approve Whitestone's bill of $691.78?
So moved.
Pat, second.
Armand.
I think we're gonna have one more bill from them. Finishing up. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, next one. BL invoice for $4,042.50. Could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Ellen,
Second.
second Kathy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, okay. And the last bill is Slam. We have the release, sent it to the, our attorney. It's all set, so now we can pay him on the last bills, but holding back for the release that we said we would take. So can I have a motion to pay Slam $52,038.75?
So moved.
Second, Doug. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. The last item is our annual, not annual, I shouldn't say that, a project budget summary. Contingency is at $714,000 as of today. Remember, and then you attached all the encumbrances that we have left. The big one is the bond. Remember, every time a company closes out, we have to pay their bond if it's above their bid.
Yeah,
Change
right,
orders.
because they provide us 5%
Right.
surety and
So, there you are, there we are.
So anybody who's had an extra, their bond goes up.
Well,
Which is
not,
almost everybody.
yeah, I mean, within a certain threshold, the bonding company won't, but where they can
Yeah.
get paid a little more, they will, because we need that certificate.
There's no executive session required. So comments, Doug?
Just thank you for all the hard work on everything, dandelions, chillers, the whole thing. Thank you.
So one thing we don't have is dandelions.
That's right, because
Because
I
the
was gonna
clover-
say if we had
There we
dandelions,
go.
somebody would pick them
There we
and
go.
The
and
clovers
use 'em.
keep choking them off. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
It is interesting, you have no dandelions that I can see.
No, I haven't seen any.
I have all the things to pick.
Yeah, and no mushrooms, right?
No
That's good, okay. Done.
I'm all set, thank you.
John,
Nothing to add, thank you.
Armand?
Just a question, the lift and, stuff in the auto shop?
Yeah,
Yeah, when's that?
Underway.
underway. I just did all the specs, gave it to the city, so they're gonna review it.
And the tire
They
issue
didn't
too,
want
or
to
the balance.
push it back.
needs to get right, till
Right, that's gonna be the same time we,
Same time,
the
together.
specs call for bringing the equipment in and installing it, and then we have to hire an electrician to
Right.
do that and the balance machine.
Great, thank you.
Dave?
Nothing for me, thank you. Happy Independence Day.
Concession building started yesterday.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, so, a little later than we had hoped, but we got caught up in the usual
Everything is approved, permits, everything
started.
contract signed by the city. And they're working. Just one thing, I did receive this morning, that the city will be receiving hopefully tomorrow, $4,786,076 for progress payment 22, which will make that we have received almost we received $131,807,807,377, and they're still holding over $12,000 for the payment.
12 million,
What?
12,000 or 12 million?
12,000 in retainage.
No,
No, 12.
12 million.
12 million, I was gonna say.
12 million, it's
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Sorry. Glasses.
Lost it.
Yeah, no, I figured it was 12 million.
Again, that's the state,
Yeah.
so.
No, I know.
Anything?
All good, thank you.
Good.
Oh, good. Thank you, everyone.
Dean,
No, all good, thank you.
Joe?
Good.
Okay. Okay, next meeting we have is July 16th. Okay, could I have a motion at 5:37 to adjourn? Pat and Ellen. Thank you. Everybody have a good, safe July 4th.
thank you.
You too. Enjoy.